Welcome back to Cocktails and Classics. This week we did the 1988 horror comedy, maybe?
Horror comedy?
Scrooged.
This dips into the
I don't
horror
know.
realm?
It was pretty spooky at
The
times.
IMDb classifies
It was,
this as a comedy, drama, fantasy.
I think it's spooky in the same way Willy Wonka's spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he's burned alive and death like opens up his like shaw and shows him the three little people. Like death was basically like the like walking into a movie theater with three kids stacked under a trench coat, basically.
As we all do.
That's Death's vagina.
He's
That's
old Greg.
vaginas. Three
He's
little
old
kids.
Greg.
We did Scrooged, if that didn't come across.
And now
Continuing
we're
our
Scrooged.
holiday movie. I'm Dylan. Joining me, as always, is Ben, Zach, and Cam.
Yeah.
Humbug.
Hi.
Maybe.
And to kick things off and get everybody in the right mood, this is off the rails
Drink
already.
some butt juice.
Uh,
Here we go.
we're gonna go to this week's cocktail. It's a pine old fashioned. You know, we do the old fashions.
This one's got pine
So-
in it.
It does have pine. No one's gonna make this cocktail,
It's good though.
but I have had like pine tea before, and it's actually pretty good. It's a little like herbaceous, obviously since it's a fucking tree, but it's not as bad as you would think. Like I feel like you go in and you're kind of like, yes, tree leaves, tree needles. That sounds delicious, but it actually brings out a decent flavor in it. So honestly, to make a pine old fashioned, you're gonna take some pine needles and make you're gonna make a simple syrup out of it, and you're gonna use about 3/4 of an ounce of that, some bitters, and some bourbon whiskey.
I like gin, and it's basically pine alcohol, is it not?
Yeah,
That's
I mean
true.
juniper. So
Yeah,
it's
I
I
also
usually
like
describe gin as tasting like pine needles. Oh, that reminds me. I actually have had a drink. I think it was at a bar in Detroit. It was like a Christmas tree drink. And you think like, oh, maybe it's just like, light or whatever. It literally tasted like a Christmas tree. Like it tasted legit like someone put pine needles in a glass, blended it up, and gave it to you.
How much Christmas
It
tree
tastes-
have you eaten?
Enough.
Butt juice.
You know,
Like
That's a
he's acquired a
Cameron,
taste
maybe
for
not
it.
you
so
got your furs,
the white pines. You got the firs.
That's it.
I'm out of my Christmas tree
That's all we
depth
got.
of knowledge.
I mean, you hit the main ones. You can get them real cheap at like Target sometimes,
Are you talking about the plastic ones?
Yeah. The plastic ones, that's right. Those ones don't taste as good though.
Do you guys know the sound of water annoys beavers? That's why they always build dams to stop the sound of running water.
That can't be true.
Yeah, no, scientists tested it. They took like a Beats pill and they put it in a zoo and they made it play like an 8-hour loop of running water and the beavers covered it in wood.
This can't be real. You're lying.
It's real. It's real.
Can I see the peer-reviewed paper?
Yeah, I'll get the source. I gotta.
This
hang
isn't a
on.
DJ Khaled
I got-
music video.
I got-
Get your Beats Pill propaganda out of here.
I think I saw it on the Blaze too. Hang
The
on.
Blaze?
Great.
You don't know the
Is that
Blaze?
that site with Tommy Lauren?
Yes.
Yeah.
Check the show notes below. Make yourself a pine old fashioned. Tell us how it is. Were you surprised that you enjoyed these pine needles that you found on the ground?
Well, get them out of a tree, you fucking animals.
Scrooge is a 1988 comedy fantasy drama film starring Bill Murray, Karen Allen, John Forsythe, John Glover, Bobcat Goldthwait, Carol Kane, Robert Mitchum.
The rest of the Murray family, Brian Doyle Murray, and I think Joel Murray's an extra in the movie, and is John Murray? Yeah, John Murray.
Yeah, John Murray was his brother.
Yeah. So it was the whole Murray family production. Brian Doyle Murray played his dad in the flashback.
Directed by Richard Donner, written by Mitch Glazer, Michael O'Donoghue, and Charles Dickens, obviously based on the Christmas Carol. Currently sits at a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. It's the story of a selfish, cynical television executive who is haunted by three spirits bearing lessons on Christmas Eve. I don't think any of us had seen this movie before.
No.
sir.
Nope.
What did everybody think on their first viewing?
Mid. I think this one is meh. I don't know. That's my first thought. Is it's very meh.
It's yeah, it was kind of out there. Like when he first is kind of introduced, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like that's a okay TV promo, but check out this one," and it's like all
The most
like
absurd shit
machine
ever.
guns and explosions. It's
And
like,
it's
check
this-
out Scrooge.
And it's the same fucking line that Lee Majors says like 5 minutes beforehand in the Santa movie.
Yeah, there were parts of this movie that I loved and parts of it that I just... Why were they in there? They were either awkward or the dialogue was weird.
The entire like last third of the movie was weird. Like where he's just like on the set of the like Christmas show and is just like spouting off about random shit for like 30 minutes.
That seems to go on
It
for a
goes
while,
on
doesn't
for
it?
so long. It goes on for so long.
You talking about when he's walking towards Claire's?
What?
When
You're
he's
talking
giving
about
the
No, at the
big
very
loud
end.
speech at the end.
Oh, you're talking about like yeah.
The actual
Yeah, that's
like
kind
full
of like
end.
he's just talking to talk. It
Yeah.
feels like.
He's got to fill airtime.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought he was gonna get to a point, but
He did not really.
he didn't until like the very end once the little kid talked to him again.
And the kid is the only one that made any point. He was like, "Yep, good point, kid," and then it ended.
This is one of those movies where they just let Bill Murray say whatever he wanted in front of a camera. They filmed like hundreds of hours of it and then made a movie out of it afterwards.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. It did feel very disjointed and like, what the hell's going on a lot of the time.
Any scene with the Ghost of Christmas Present was just, especially the intro scene when you first meet her, and she's just like doing ball play with Bill Murray. Like it's just some torture shit. Pulling on
Oh,
his
the
lip,
fucking sign
kicking
she
him in the
has that
nuts.
says Ball Breaker Lounge.
I didn't like her at all. She was too happy.
I hate her voice,
Yeah. Her whole demeanor pissed me off.
but I think Bill Murray played the part well. Like
sure.
when Bill Murray plays an asshole, he plays an asshole.
Yeah. You know, one of the pet peeves, though, is that nobody in his life is actually like, "You're a giant piece of shit." Everybody's always like, "Yes, sir, Mr. Bill Murray, sir. No problem, sir." Even the girl who he like is like the love interest is not ever like turned off by him being a giant asshole to everybody.
Women like that, Cam. Is that not
Okay.
what you... Did you not learn that? from
Also,
growing up
speaking
watching
of
movies?
which,
movies?
is this podcast the Karen Allen fan club now? This is the third movie we've watched with her in it.
I mean, it's more than that for Bill Murray, is it not?
I don't know. Is it? This might be number 3 or 4, maybe.
Ghostbusters, Caddyshack, this. Was he in anything else?
No, I think it's this.
I was like Karen. I was
think
like,
it
she
was
looks
in
so
these.
familiar.
Yeah,
What is she
Animal
from?
House
She's in-
and Indiana
Yeah.
Jones.
Indiana
Yep.
Jones. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
This movie was a lot of that for me.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, that guy. Okay. Like Ben before was like, oh, that's Bobcat Goldthwait.
How about the fact that are we now the Brian Doyle Murray fan club? Christmas Vacation,
Yeah.
Caddyshack, and Scrooged.
I mean, I do feel like there's a fair amount of movies from these time periods where they're all written by the same person, you know, or all directed by the same person.
They all like cross.
Yeah, but Richard Donner didn't direct any. Like he did like Superman and the Goonies,
Okay, maybe not him. but-
Lethal Weapon. He didn't do a lot of like the kind of same old things where he would have cast the same people over and over again.
You know, this was the first movie Bill Murray did after Ghostbusters. It's like Ghostbusters,
Really?
break, Scrooged.
Okay,
I
was gonna say-
believe
I was about to
he-
say, wasn't Ghostbusters 84?
He was offered Batman at some point, and I think he turned it down
Yeah,
to do this
84.
movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, he does
crazy.
kind of look like Michael Keaton the way his hair's done in this movie.
Yeah. No.
Looks like he did some like TV shorts, but this was the only movie he did.
Yeah.
he was in Little Shop of Horrors. Is that a book? Or sorry, is that a movie or a TV show?
As a movie.
It was a movie, which
musical.
makes sense as he literally references it by saying, "Feed me, Seymour."
Yep.
A Frank Oz production. Oh, Rick Moranis was in it. Are we in the Rick
Yeah.
Moranis fan club yet?
We've only seen one
I
movie
think
with
we've only
him, right?
done one Moranis movie.
God, Rick Moranis plays the perfect loser.
Yeah.
Like, when people call me a loser, I imagine me in their shoes and they think I'm Rick Moranis.
Do you think Rick Moranis was supposed to be in this movie, but they couldn't get him, so they just cast Bobcat Goldthwait?
Yes, exactly.
Probably.
Rick Moranis should have been running around holding everybody hostage
Yeah.
with a shotgun at the end of this movie.
I think, honestly, that would have been preferred.
Yeah, then you wouldn't have had the weird, like, he said dance.
Yeah, his voice act is weird. He's like Gilbert Gottfried. Just like the one bit.
But I
is
think the
just
difference
that.
is that Gilbert Gottfried, like, always kind of sounds like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's just where he's from.
He doesn't talk like
Bobcat?
that, though.
He not as exaggerated, but still kind of in the same dialect. But Bobcat, you can tell when, like, he's talking normally, and then he just, like, flips a switch into fucking weirdo mode.
Yeah.
I will say I only know Bobcat from like Willow Creek, which is a found footage Bigfoot movie that he directed in 2013.
Oh, that's fucking
Oh,
weird.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like weird to me seeing him actually like act and do his comedy aspect when I don't know any, like, I've never seen any of his comedy, but I've seen like his directing work.
He directed a movie with, speaking of the Murray family, he directed one with Joel Murray in it. God Bless America in like 2011. It was like a B movie that came out, but
Is that the one where he's like killing?
yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah,
goes
I
on
see
like a
this.
killing spree. Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting movie. But
I didn't know Joel Murray like acted.
oh yeah, he's really good in Mad Men.
Who is he in Mad Men?
He's
Fred-
not in every.
Fred Rumson.
Yeah, he's in like the first couple seasons. How much of Mad Men have you seen?
All of it?
Spoiler
Oh,
for Mad Men. He's the guy
get
who
this.
gets drunk and himself,
Oh, okay.
and then goes away for a while, and then
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. So get this. I watched the first 2 seasons of Mad Men, right? Love it. Go to start the 3rd season. Accidentally started the 7th
Oof.
season.
oh
And
no,
there's like a dinner scene that opens up the 7th season. Where 2 people that are having dinner together that should not be having dinner together.
Oof.
So I don't know if I'll ever go back. I feel like
It's definitely worth
I
it.
feel like I know where that's going.
Okay, but there's so much in that show. It's definitely worth it. It's so good.
I don't want to spoil any reviews here. I don't necessarily know if my life was improved having seen this movie.
No, I think
Um,
no, I don't think so.
I think this was. I'd always kind of avoided this one, to be honest, just because my expectations were low, and it kind of met the expectations.
I'm gonna say a potentially unpopular opinion. I don't think Bill Murray's that good. Like, I think he's all right. There are other comedy
Let me-
actors I would much prefer to see. I think.
You want to get my wife on the
than
line?
Bill
She'll
Murray.
tell you. The
I don't
same
hate
thing.
him. Like, I think he's fine in a lot of his roles. I think he can be funny, but he's all right. I don't like people are like, oh my god, it's Bill Murray. It's like, okay, I don't know.
I think he's good. I like Bill Murray, but I much more prefer him when he's working with like Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
some of his more serious roles like Lost in Translation.
I do think he's better as a I think he's better as a compliment to other stuff, not just him.
Like not the star.
Not just him bopping around the movie for 2 hours.
well, I feel like too a lot of the movies he's famous for are like, it's just him being a total douche for like
Yeah.
2 hours, and people are like, oh, it's great. The dude's
Groundhog Day. This
Ghostbusters,
Stripes.
Stripes. I mean,
I like
honestly,
Bill
I
Murray.
feel like Caddyshack is the only movie I feel like I know of him that I'm
Caddyshack
like,
and Meatballs.
He
I feel
didn't get
like.
to play the role because Chevy Chase still owned that in Hollywood at the time.
yeah. I mean, realistically, I could have seen that movie done where Bill Murray plays Chevy Chase's character.
I mean, I like Bill Murray. I think one thing that helps him out is he's like away from the camera. He's a nice guy. People like him personally.
I feel like I've heard that's true when people meet him like not on set, but I've heard on set he can be an asshole.
Oh yeah, there's some horror
Like-
stories. Like the whole thing with him and Harold Ramis back in
Yeah.
the day. The reason they broke up was because Bill Murray, would do stuff like Scrooge, where he wouldn't even read the script. He'd just step in front of the camera and ad-lib for hours.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder how much of
He's a
I
good
wonder
golfer.
how much of the out of or offset stuff is like him just going for like public image and stuff versus like if you
Yeah, that could
actually
be.
had a one-on-one with him, he'd kind of be a douche to you. Because there's all those stories of like, oh, Bill Murray showed up to my wedding on Reddit and stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's probably doing that to get some good graces or something. And plus,
I mean,
he's
but
he's
at
a
this
celebrity.
but at like the past, like I don't even like 20 years, like I don't like he doesn't need to do any of that, like. I do feel like Bill Murray's main personality point is he's just gonna do whatever he wants whenever he wants. If that means showing up to your wedding, yeah, that's great. If that means ad-libbing on camera for 2 hours, perfect.
If that means being a
developing
dick
a
to you at a
golf
ball
brand.
game,
All right, his
He's
golf
gonna do
clothes
it.
are pretty sick though.
Yeah, they're
I
nice.
really do like his golf line. That's pretty sweet.
Bill Murray's a good dude, but he's no Tom Hanks, right? We can all agree.
Yeah, well, nobody's
No,
Tom
you
Hanks.
like-
Tom Hanks is
barely
Tom Hanks is the closest thing conservatives will ever get to a white Jesus Christ.
What the fuck? Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. Zach's point.
That's exactly what Ben meant.
That guy, yes, that one. That's who I'm talking about. You know his name?
So yeah, I mean, I do agree. I think that this movie is very, is like I said at the very beginning, this movie is very mid. I think it's very, like, okay. It's not super great, and I don't know that if someone's like, "Oh, I've never seen this movie, should I watch it?" Be like, I don't know, honestly. Maybe watch a different movie you like.
If you're scrambling for Christmas movies, dig this one up out of the bottom of the bin.
Bill Murray's gotten to the point where he's kind of like Samuel L. Jackson, or like I'm trying to think of another actor, but like Samuel L. Jackson's the
They play
biggest one to me.
themselves.
Is like, yeah, almost like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we're getting Bill Murray in this movie to be Bill Murray, basically. Or I mean, even Zombieland, where he makes the
Kevin
cameo
Hart.
as Bill
Yeah.
Murray. It's like Samuel L. Jackson, you're gonna get him in there, and you're gonna have him drop a motherfucker. Like,
But I enjoy
that's just
but I
the way it
enjoy
is.
those Sam Jackson roles. Those Sam Jackson roles are always great in those. I mean, I don't know.
well, we should watch more. We should watch more Wes Anderson because I feel like Wes Anderson utilizes
Yeah.
Bill Murray well.
I agree. I agree with that. I mean, again, it's very minor, but I saw him recently in
French Dispatch.
The French Dispatch. Yeah, and that was a pretty good role. I mean, he's kind of limited in that one, but I think he played his part well. And I've seen him in the other Wes Anderson. I mean, not all of them, but I've seen some of them. And yeah, similarly, I think he does fairly well in those roles. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know that I love movies that just like focus on one dude the whole time, and that's like the whole bit is everything revolves around that character. I don't know. I think it's very tough
That's
to hold
literally
that
the
movie.
whole fucking point of A Christmas Carol. Like, that's literally the source material. You can't be mad at them for
Yeah,
literally
enough
sticking
of this
to what
movie.
the movie is based
Oh
off
no,
of.
I get that, but
Like, I don't like it. It's exactly what it was.
I'm saying, like, when somebody's personality is supposed to make the movie.
Right.
Like, they put Kevin Hart in a comedy movie, throw nothing around it. Maybe Tiffany Haddish shows up, and that's supposed to bring people to the theater.
right, exactly, right. It's not the source material. That's fine. I'm just saying, like, yeah,
What, Ben? You know it's
it's
true.
the whole
Just the way you
personality
said
of
it.
it is like, Bill Murray's personality. So, like, you put any other person in this movie, and nobody watches it. Legit, nobody watches it.
I don't know. I do feel like the source material is lacking. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
Charles
also
Dickens
been
blows.
done a million fucking
It's
times.
been done a million times. This movie's also 40 years old almost. Like,
and it doesn't necessarily bring anything new to the story. Like, I feel like it tries to be like a little edgy adult, like, kind of like we talked about with the Santa Claus. Like, we were like, oh, it'd be a little more adult, a little more, and this one is like, ooh, he's trying to be a little racy on television, and he's doing these bad ads or whatever, and it's like there's your like adult humor aspect of it, but does it add anything to the movie or to like the story that we already know? Scrooge, we already know Ghost of Christmas Past and all that. I think the biggest thing it does differently is bring in the I don't know the equivalent in in the Christmas Carol story, but the guy who he like fires and Tiny Tim's
Cratchit?
dad. I guess like
No.
Tiny Tim's dad, like Loudermilk
Cratchit
is
is-
that
Yeah.
equivalent. I feel
He
like,
is,
and
I
he
think.
comes back with a shotgun and tries to kill him. I think that's the biggest twist that it does on the source material.
I do think also that they don't do a great job at showing, and like it's supposed to be a funny movie, whatever. I feel like they don't do a great job at showing the progression of him to being like good again. Like I feel like he is a jerk until the last, like until death, right? Is that who shows up at the end near it? I feel like he is still like, nah, fuck this. Like I'm gonna keep doing what I want to do until like death shows up and it's like, by the way, you die, and no one shows up because nobody cares about you, and the person you like is a giant chode. So because of you, and apparently that's the only motivator. Everything else that he saw, he's like, whatever.
But that's kind of just like the source material too. Like that's
Yeah.
like the big driver.
It's-
Is like he sees his grave and then it's like, I died. Oh no, I gotta be a good guy now.
I just do,
Yeah.
but
Oh, I don't want to die.
But to your
Literally,
point,
no one shows up to Scrooge, and they're like, "This is how people remember you as a curmudgeon, and no one will ever think
It's
positively."
at your grave.
It's like, oh, I don't want that. I want to be remembered as a good person.
yeah. But to your point about doing something new with the source material, it's just not that compelling of a story anymore, in my opinion. Like, you could do something different with that.
All right, hot take. I enjoyed this movie.
Oh, I definitely was like chuckling throughout.
This movie was like, I enjoyed the fact it was a cheesy 80s Christmas movie, and I honestly thought it did a Christmas Carol like in an interesting way. Like, I think it told this story with being more relatable.
Just modernized it.
Well, I thought it modernized it, but it also just kind of like, you know, instead of it's Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim, it's like not only is it this person, but Tiny Tim's not related. Like it's a completely different person that's been, you know, dealing with this or that. Were there parts that I think were unnecessary? Yes, the whole like half
About 30
throwaway
minutes.
part where they're like, yeah, he hasn't spoken since his dad was murdered in front of him.
Yeah.
We're not really going to touch that for the rest of the movie. Just make the joke about the fact that she wore black for like a year. And then we'll bring in the part where he speaks. You could have just left it as he's nonverbal. Like, he doesn't talk.
That was some Joe Buck shit. That was like a rookie running back gets handed off the ball in his first
Yeah.
game, and he's like, "Yeah."
It was like I
well,
was watching the 2020 draft. Everyone's family member was murdered
yeah,
or
but
had
his
some
brother.
sort of...
His brother got murdered last year, and he said all he wants to do is go third overall to the Dallas Cowboys. It's his only wish in life is to go third overall, and he's a hell of a runner, I got to tell you. But yep, his brother did get killed.
His grandma's got cancer.
But, yeah, I kind of enjoyed the whole, like, you know...
His dad was never there.
They do the Christmas
Announcing your
past.
first overall pick, Tiny Tim.
Like they do the Christmas past, and it's like, yeah, he was basically like raised in front of a television. His mom and dad were not the best parents, I guess you could say. More so his dad than his mom. They did their best, but like,
That was like $50 a meal in today's money.
and then you know, they kind of go through, and to be like, you know, to talk about the fact that Claire wasn't disgusted by the things she literally left him because of the fact, like, I feel like she saw the path he was taking and was like, nah, I'm not interested in that. And then I think when he called her, it seemed like he was ready to kind of change. And then every time you kind of see, though, where, like, he starts acting like an ass, she kind of, like, dips. She's not just like, okay, I'll stick around. It's like, no, I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah, she wants to help him, but not at
But
her
she
own
gives him
expense.
so many chances. How many, like, gosh, how many chances do you need, you know?
There's not a lot of women in New York City, Kim. Or not a lot of men in New York City.
I was going to say, one of the most, either way, one of the most populous cities in the world. No, you're right.
I think overall, I like the movie like Ben did. There were just some parts that really bugged me. Like when Bill Murray walks into the homeless shelter and immediately just starts being a douchebag to the homeless people.
Yeah.
like I felt like something, like I missed something there. Like there's a 30-second clip where he was supposed to look for Claire and then get bugged by these people, and like I felt disconnected.
Yeah. No, that was one that I didn't necessarily enjoy, but like overall, I would throw this movie into like my holiday movie rotation. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, like I said, it is what it is. It was a cheesy 80s telling of a Christmas Carol, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was compelling enough. I love the score. I could tell right away that it was a Danny Elfman score. Especially the scene, which it's not early on, but when he's in the cab, kind of driving through, and you get that kind of operatic singing. I was like, man, this sounds like something that Danny Elfman did for a Batman movie. And then I was like, probably because it's Danny Elfman. Like he just has dead giveaways. I love his scores in movies. I thought this was really good. I don't know. I liked a lot of things about this movie. I liked even the intro where it's like Santa Claus is being bombed. Lee Majors walks in and saves the day, and it's just like, it's all right, Santa. Santa's like, no, we're going out the front door. It's just like, what the? I'm because at first I'm watching this movie and I'm like, did I turn on the wrong fucking movie? Like, what is going on here? And then when they get into it and they're like, and now we're gonna do the telling of Scrooged. I was like, okay, this is exactly what it is. As much as
Lee
Bobcat,
Majors, the $6 million man.
yeah, as much as I thought Bobcat Goldthwait, his whole shtick can be kind of annoying. The fact that they did it like as him falling apart, I honestly thought was good. Like I enjoyed kind of the mousy, like whatever, falls down on his luck and then finally snaps. Like I thought that was an interesting kind of take on things. I just thought they did a lot of things in an interesting way, for a telling of for what it was, which was an obvious retelling of the Christmas Carol.
Would you guys pay money to go see The Night Reindeer Died?
I don't think so.
You wouldn't give AMC like $4 if they gave you that movie ticket and an NFT.
Oh my god.
I know last week we read the Santa Claus taglines.
Are they bad for this one?
Well, the one is Bill Murray's back among the ghosts. Only this time it's 3 against 1.
Oh my god. Like a Ghostbusters reference?
Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
And then the other one is the spirits will move you in odd and hysterical ways. That one is just clunky as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love the using Ghostbusters to try and sell your Christmas movie.
Yeah. That's so funny. Hey, remember that
Kevin
one
Hart is
really
back.
popular comedy movie from 4 years ago? Do you want to watch a different movie that has nothing to do
When
with
did the
that?
second one come out?
After this.
When did the second Ghostbusters come out? Really?
Yeah. I think, if I remember, I could be wrong.
Like
but
90s or something?
Well, Zach said this was one of the first movies he did after Ghostbusters. 4 years
I
later.
guess it's true.
Ghostbusters 2 is definitely after this one.
I think it was.
Jesus.
Might have been the same year, but it was definitely after this.
I mean, that's what Tyler Perry
Ghostbusters
does.
2 was 89. So yeah, the next year after
the
this.
next year.
Tyler
Got
Perry does this. He puts his name in front of all the movies. That way you know what to expect when you go in.
Tyler Perry's A Medea's Christmas.
God. I mean, I get the points you're saying, but I do think this one can definitely be hit or miss depending on if you like the type of like stuff, the shtick, I guess. Like if you like the type of shtick that he does, then you probably would enjoy this movie enough to watch it again. But if it's only like, if that's, for me, that's part of why I like a movie, not the whole reason. But like, you know, if you want more than just that, it's probably either not worth a watch or only worth like one.
Interesting. I see this trivia bit here that apparently Bill Murray and Richard Donner reportedly did not enjoy working together. Seems to be a familiar theme in the 80s with Bill Murray.
And his director don't like working with each other. Weird.
Bill, can you just
but he
read
said
the
that there was a
damn
lot of-
paper?
Bill, I I pay a guy $250 an hour to stand here holding a goddamn cue card. If you don't fucking read it, I'm gonna murder you.
It says, when asked by film critic Roger Ebert if he had any disagreements with Donner, Murray replied, only a few, every single minute of the day. That could have been a really, really great movie. The script was so good. There's maybe one take in the final cut movie that is mine. We made it so fast it was like doing a movie live. He kept telling me to do things louder, louder, louder. I think he's deaf.
Weird.
So the script was great, but there's only one take in there that's mine. Do you think it's because you didn't use the script the rest of the time?
Yeah,
I feel like
confusing.
this quote is Bill Murray's sarcasm.
Yep.
The whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably has to. He probably has to be like, the script was really great. That's what brought me to do it. As like a studio kind of like answer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's not going to sit there and be like, the script sucked.
Yeah, the Christmas Carol blows. Whoever wrote this is dog water.
We're gonna hit up some ads. We're gonna come back and Zach's gonna take us through trivia.
Yep.
You know we love saving the turts. You know Cam hates fucking paper straws.
Paper straw song. I will say that paper straw technology has improved since I last shat on paper straws. I have used a couple since I've been able to go out more recently due to being vaccinated, and
That's what they were doing the whole time while we were inside. They were just inventing better paper straws.
I have seen also not paper straws, but it seems like they're compostable plastic straws or something. Like
You're talking about the
like,
ones
they
that
feel
are made out of
different.
like agave or whatever.
I have no idea what the composition of these straws are. I'm just, but they are different.
I'm not
than
a
the
straw
normal ones you
expert.
see. But you're the expert, Dylan.
But I do know a good glass straw when I see one,
Yes. I will say for being at home and where maybe you like straws in your fruity margaritas or you like straws to mix with your, old fashions or whatever, having these straws around the home is really nice. Not constantly like throwing things away, or you don't have to keep buying straws all the time. Like you just buy a couple and then you're good.
And if you want cocktail picks or muddlers, they have that too. There's many colors. He's getting into like designs. So like the pride flag, he puts it on like the side of the straw. He's got hearts. He's got critters. It's like you get a piece of art along with a straw. Little multi-use.
Oh yeah, he has critter straws, which see a dolphin, a salamander. That salamander looks intricate. That is impressive.
Grab some glass straws from Surfside Sips. Use promo code cocktails and classics spelled out for 20% off. We get a little kickback from that, and you get to save some money on some glass straws, and they should last you a long time. Dishwasher safe. They're pretty sturdy. Just don't drop them on the floor like me, like a big idiot. You have to buy more. Zach, what do you got for us on Scrooged? I know you've been waiting for this point in the episode.
I always do. Mostly because I wait for all the parts of the episode, though. Because we have to do all of them.
That's how it works.
And then
That's
it
how
ends.
doing stuff works.
So the ones we haven't done yet, I wait for them.
You sit there and you wait until it's the time to do the thing, and then you do the thing, and then it's done.
And the things just
And
change.
they just keep going.
This time it's trivia.
What the
All
fuck
right,
did we do today? This episode is just off the fucking rails. I don't know
Did you
what's
guys-
going on.
Did anybody study
Zach's
up
been
on
drinking
full
too much
snark.
pine tar.
Full snark out in full force today.
Did anybody study up on veal prices?
No, don't you dare.
Oh, fucking
I got it
Christ.
in case we need it, but
I should have planned for
Oh.
a veal inflation question. How did I not know it
Question.
would combine Zach's two favorite things? Inflation and dead baby animals.
Whoa.
question number 1. Ghost of Christmas Past drives for what cab company? A. Executive Cab, B. Bell Cab, or C. Yellow Cab?
I have to say yellow cab.
I was also going to say yellow. I feel like it's yellow. I don't know. Yellow cab? I mean, it is a yellow cab.
I think it's Bell Cab.
1 second.
Double checking.
There was a reasoning with the answer, and I somehow deleted half of it.
Nice.
So I don't...
This is gonna be another why was the Scream costume changed from white to black?
No,
Oh,
so
no.
This one I got. So it is Bell Cab, and it's a reference to the Charles Dickens novel Ebenezer Scrooge's girlfriend. Her name was Belle.
Weird reference, but okay.
Yeah.
It's a reference to the underlying source material. I guess that makes it weird. Okay. That gives Ben the 1 point lead. We're one question closer to veal inflation prices. Question number 2. Which jazz legend makes an appearance in the film? A. Miles Davis, B. Kenny G, or C. Thelonious Monk?
Is Kenny G a jazz legend?
Yeah,
Oh,
for
it's gotta
sure. 100%.
Oh, okay.
You know who the hell he is, so yeah.
Dude's insane with a saxophone.
He makes a
I
fair
just
point.
know him as like the meme, Kenny G.
What? Before the meme, Kenny G.
That's Weird Al.
Nah, that dude shreds. But I don't know. I guess I'm gonna say the last one.
Thelonious Monk?
Yeah.
What were the 3 options?
Miles Davis.
Miles Davis,
Davis. Okay.
Kenneth Giason,
I don't think that's right.
Thelonious Monkston.
Thelonious Monkston. Elongated muskrat.
Excuse me? I'm gonna have
Is
to
that a
cancel.
Thelonious
Elon
Monk
Musk
stab?
is a jazz legend now.
If peeing your pants is cool, I'm Miles Davis, and that is my answer. Because Zach loves the Sandman.
Yes, I put Miles Davis in the movie.
Just
No,
in the
you
version
just
we
picked it.
watched.
You
He's
just
only in
picked,
my copy.
you just picked the question out because of that quote.
I see you're playing the game.
I'm gonna say Kenny G.
Kenneth Giason, is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right. Just please use his full
realistically-
name next time.
Kenneth G is the one that would make, the most sense for the time period, but
So, the jazz legend who plays a street performer in the movie is Miles Davis.
Wow.
Wow.
He was pretty old at the time. He died a few years later. So, Ben got that one too. So, spoiler, we avoided the veal
We're
question.
fucked.
Thank
Can
God.
you get negative points in
However.
trivia?
Yes.
Maybe.
What if your answer is so
What?
wrong that you deserve to get -1? There should be a landmine answer where
Always
if you
an
select that answer that you get -1.
money. This kid wants money puck in fucking trivia.
It would just be kind of neat,
All
you know?
right. Question number
Question's worth
3.
3 points.
This question's worth 2 points. Question number 3.
The fuck is this? Is this some fucking Jimmy Fallon I need my guest to win bullshit?
Whoa, Ben! Oh, that's so weird. You're here. Oh my god.
Wow, when did Jimmy Fallon join our pod?
Oh wow, guys! I have questions in front of me. I just have to read them. Oh wow. All right.
Jesus Christ.
I swear, Jimmy Fallon's personality
Is being surprised?
is Chevy Chase after freebasing cocaine. Guys, in preparation for this trivia, I had to
Freebasing
Google
Freebased
what
a shit ton of
freebasing-
cocaine?
Well, I had to learn what freebasing was. I didn't know freebasing cocaine is when you smoke it.
Oh.
Was that said in the movie?
Yeah, so when Bill Murray has the hallucination at the restaurant, the guy on fire throws the water at him and goes, "Oh, sorry, I thought you were Richard Pryor." It's a reference a year or so earlier. Richard Pryor was
when Richard
freebasing
set him-
cocaine and set
Yeah,
himself on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was freebasing when he got caught on fire. I just remember him catching on fire.
That's how they do. That's what happens when you freebase cocaine, kids. You get caught on fire. It's Satan. Question number 3.
Please keep that transition in there. I want that transition to stay. That's what Satan does, kids. Question number 3.
All right, question number 3. During the restaurant scene, we get a close-up of Frank's wristwatch, and it reveals the date on it. What was the date? A, October 23rd, B, November 23rd, or C, December 23rd?
December feels like a trap card, right? 2 days before Christmas.
Pot of greed! Draw 2 more
I mean, it's-
answers.
The Christmas movie obviously has to be December, but I feel like the meme is that it was wrong.
I'm gonna go December 23rd. I know it's stupid, but like these events take place Christmas Eve, so
Won't you feel really silly
don't you feel stupid?
if it's not December 23rd,
Don't you feel
or if it is
silly?
December 23rd and you guess that it's not? Won't you
Don't
just
you
feel
feel
weird?
a little ashamed? Yeah, I'm gonna go
And
December
because
23rd.
of that, won't you feel weird if it's not December 23rd?
No,
You know?
no,
It's a double on meme
no.
day.
I'm doing December 23rd. Fuck it.
I mean, for these other guys, they got a hard choice to make now.
These points are made up anyway. You know.
I'm gonna fall for the meme, and I'm gonna go October 23rd.
What an idiot.
What a fool. It's a Christmas
Don't you
movie.
feel stupid? Don't you feel a little
Well,
ashamed?
I'm gonna hope maybe just memeing around and guessing that they've been 0 for 2 this far. Maybe they'll go 0 for 3.
Oh
And
no.
I'll say 11-23.
It is 11/23. It was the film's
All it
theatrical
took-
release date.
All it took was not listening to you
Wow.
fucking potatoes for me to sweep.
Why 11? Why? That's wrong, right?
It was for the movie's theatrical release date. It came out 11/23.
Oh.
So they like knew when it was gonna release.
Apparently,
when they were
yeah.
Shooting it.
I don't know how far in advance you book those things, but
So
Can I
here's
get
the
paid in
maybe
question:
they shot it after. I don't know.
the time that they go to dinner, doesn't that happen after he fires Elliot?
Yeah, right after.
That's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So 12/23 would have been wrong also.
Yeah.
Well, it's closer at least. Like it's like the day before. I wasn't sure if it was Christmas Eve or like the day before, but I don't know. It makes more sense than November.
You guys think calendars matter so much. It's all about pausing it at the right time to see what the date is on his watch. That's what you guys got wrong. See, that's where you guys fucked up. When you were sitting there watching the movie, I was out making moves.
None of us have seen this film, so you're gonna get 4 fresh reviews.
Fresh.
Who wants to go
Certified
first and
fresh.
talk about Scrooged?
I'll go first. I never go first. This might be the first time I've gone first. For the first time.
There's a first time for every first.
Unless
That's
you
true.
fuck it up.
That's true.
And then there's
There's
also,
a last time for every first. You know?
Yep.
I think this movie was good. It's got parts that just make me scratch my head and wonder what the hell. I like Bill Murray. I like the whole dude goes crazy, shotgun holds people hostage. I don't know what that says about me, but the movie had some feel good vibes. It had some it had enough comedy. I don't know if it makes it into my Christmas rotation. If it's like on the fringe, maybe it's just in, maybe it's just out. If you haven't seen it and you like the kind of 80s type of campiness, or if you like Bill Murray, go for it. But I'm going to walk out of here 6 out of 10.
I think that's a fair rating. That was kind of my feeling on it. It's not great. Don't get me wrong. It's not like the best Christmas movie I've seen. It's not bad though. Like it's an enjoyable Christmas movie. It's a cheesy late 80s Christmas movie. It's exactly what I expected. Better yet, it's a cheesy late 80s telling of a Christmas Carol. So like don't go into it expecting to be surprised by what happens. You're going to get a dude who's kind of a tool, visited by 3 fucking ghosts, and at the end, he changes who he is. That's the story. It's been around for forever. Like, everyone
It's
knows
the Blair
it.
Witch.
Well,
Everyone knows...
not forever.
Okay, sorry. Since Dickens wrote it however fucking long ago. But still, it's been told and retold and retold. I just think this is kind of an interesting take on it. It kind of adds a love story to it, and it kind of updates it for the 80s. I gave it a 6 out of 10. I enjoyed it. There was no point I was watching it that was like, God, this movie blows. So I think you should give it a watch. And then if you find it's not your thing, then don't watch it again. But I think if you like Bill Murray, and especially if you like 80s Bill Murray, where he's the same kind of character he is in every other 80s Bill Murray movie, then this is right up your alley.
I know we said this movie was kind of what the hell at parts, but I feel like I enjoyed the what the hell parts and the Santa Claus more. As far as like the B movie, like wild aspects that just popped up. I didn't hate this one. I definitely laughed and chuckled at different parts. I am a fan of Bill Murray. I don't love when he's an asshole. I just don't like that as like a character. I feel like because even Chevy Chase and others just don't do it for me. I think this movie is very very meh, and I think it's a solid 5 out of 10. Take it or leave it. If you like the Christmas Carol story, then you might like this interesting new take on it.
I do agree that if you really like Bill Murray, you'll probably like this movie. If you're looking for something else outside of that, I don't know if there's much for you here. And like I said, I don't hate Bill Murray, and I think he can be funny, but I'm not as big of a fan as him being the centerpiece. And it did take seeing a couple of his movies where it's just him floating it to kind of, figure that out, I suppose. But this one in general was kind of weird. I didn't think it was that great. The end scene was super long. A lot of it was very convoluted, and I don't know. I don't think I'll be watching this one again. So I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 10.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to rate and subscribe. Tell us what you think of Scrooged. Did we butcher one of your holiday favorites? Hopefully not. Check the show notes below. Get that pine old-fashioned recipe.
Can't wait till they remake it next year with Timothy Chalamet.
I saw something on IMDb when I went to type this movie in, and it said Scrooged in pre-production. Are they remaking this movie?
I don't know,
Probably,
but,
I don't know.
but
Feel like
he's
it's
going to
always
be
in the
Willy
works.
Wonka.
Jesus. How many times do we have to make that movie?
Starring Kevin Hart, Scrooged. Is that what you're looking at?
Oh my god,
Wait,
really?
seriously?
Are you serious?
Mine did not show any casting notes.
All right. Let's guess which ghost Tiffany Haddish plays.
And the one that kicks Kevin Hart in the balls?
Tracy Morgan is going to be the Ghost of Christmas Past. That's a lock. Tiffany Haddish, I think, plays Ghost of Christmas Present. Yeah.
Christmas
And then
Future
his future.
is obviously going to be this
Terry
giant scary.
Crews.
No. It's going to be this giant scary thing until he's finally like burning alive, and then he's going to be pulled out and saved by the ghost of Christmas Future, who takes off his hood and then ends up being Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Oh, I was actually going to say Will Ferrell. I feel like Will
Ice
Ferrell
Cube.
plays a psycho, like Ghost of Christmas Future.
No, Will Ferrell plays the
dead
guy.
eyes.
Will Ferrell plays the guy who gets fired.
Oh my god, he just pulls up his role from the other guys.
I feel like that's got to be it.
Check us out on Instagram at Cocktails and Classics Pod. Don't forget to rate and subscribe. Check us out next week as we do The Nightmare Before Christmas. Share us with your friends and family. Leave a review to help us out. And as always, watch responsibly.